Hi everybody, it's Dandruff with your news Cartridge for Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. Welcome back everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I can't wait to play some games after I'm done recording today's show. Timestamps and reference links for any of today's stories can be found in the description below. Up on top today, we have Total War Rome 2 getting review bombed over a patch that is actually months old. This patch enabled a 10 to 15% chance of having a female general lead part of your army, and it's my understanding, because I don't play the game, that you're able to get multiple generals, and again, they all have a 10 to 15% chance of being female. Except one, the Kush, who have a 50% chance of having a female general, but that's to reflect historical accuracy, which is the main complaint of the Total War Rome 2 community. A screenshot has surfaced showing a player with all female generals, and they are claiming this to be highly inaccurate, some even suggesting the percentage should be between 0 and 1%. Again, this is to reflect history. On a similar note, this is also the big complaint from what I'm guessing are a similar crowd of people about Battlefield 5 containing a female soldier fighting on the front lines of World War II. Developer Creative Assembly has made a statement in regards to the recent backlash, saying, quote, "The spawn rates just need to be higher than reality just so that it happens for gameplay. And I take that as meaning it's a video game, and things that happen in video games aren't always done for realism's sake. When was the last time you played a shooter where your gun jammed and then you had to clear the chamber before you recocked it? You didn't, because that's a pain in the ass and no fun. If you want realism, then Total War Rome 2 is not the game you wanted to play anyway, because the birth rates for soldiers is 65% men and 35% women, which is not reflective of reality in any regard, but nobody seems to be complaining about that. Normally, I do support review bombing because the customer needs to voice their opinion if they have something negative to say, and this is basically the only effect that we can have towards certain decisions sometimes. And I do support your right to give it a negative review if that is what you so choose. But I am not supporting this particular instance because 1, I don't play the game, and 2, I don't think fighting against a 10 to 15% chance of having a female general is a fight that I want to fight. Before we move away from this subject, Creative Assembly says that they will not be changing the game as it stands, and if you do not like the way the game has been for the last 6 months, to go ahead and mod it out, which I not only think is a reasonable response, but a reasonable solution as well. After all, isn't that the point of modding? To make the game the way you want it and then play it that way? How do you feel about this? Is having a 10 to 15% chance of having a female general too high? And would you change the birth rate percentages too? I also want to know what you have to think about Creative Assembly's response. There are a ton of angles to look at the story from, so please share any of your thoughts in the comments below. Then we have an update to the story from yesterday about Telltale Games, and it seems like the company is not out of hot water yet, as a former employee is now suing them. Now, I'm not completely familiar with California's WARN law, but from what I've researched, the company has to have more than 75 full or part-time employees, which Telltale would qualify for. The employee must have worked at least 6 of the 12 months preceding the termination. Obviously, this is done on a per-employee basis. But then to also qualify, the company must have let go at least 50 people or more in a 30-day period, which again, Telltale would qualify for. I am not a lawyer, so this is completely my opinion. It doesn't look good for Telltale. But what would be good is if fans of the Walking Dead series were able to play the final episodes, and whatever's left of Telltale is saying to not completely lose all hope. They say they aren't making any promises, but there is a potential Telltale's partners could finish the series. To my knowledge, the scripts for the final 2 episodes are complete, and they just would need to be turned into a game. And I do realize that's a lot easier said than done, but there still is a chance. They may have a slightly different feel to them because they won't be made directly by Telltale, but at least the series won't end on a cliffhanger. That is, of course, if any of this happens at all. Let me know if you're a fan of Telltale's The Walking Dead in the comments below. In release announcements, we have the Jackbox Party Pack 5 coming on October 17th, and it will be the first in the series to see the return of the classic hit game, You Don't Know Jack. Then we have Monster Hunter Stories releasing to both Android and iOS for $20 US or your regional equivalent. Finally, for releases, we have some hardware news with the NVIDIA RTX 2070 available on October 17th for $499 US or your regional equivalent. Remember, don't spend any money until you see the benchmarks. In update news, we have Rainbow Six Siege with Ubisoft reducing the number of credits needed to unlock Season 1 ops from 25,000 credits to 15,000 credits. Hurry up though, because this is a limited time offer ending in March 2019? Okay, maybe hurry is the wrong word. Ark Survival Evolved is up next, getting a new type of official PvP server called Conquest, with everything, including XP and taming rates, at 2 times speed. This is great for veterans who want to access the endgame content in literally half the time. Moving on from there, we have a fan-made Spyro game called Spyro Myths Awaken, receiving a cease and desist letter. The fan-made project had been going for the last year or so and had the goal of making a completely new Spyro game from scratch. Just like Pokemon Uranium, these projects were using the name of a well-established brand, and in a legal sense, that's not allowed. Even though, in my opinion, this would do more good for the IP than harm, because the people making these games not only care about the game they're making, but the inspiration from it as well. The team behind the project says Spyro Myths Awaken is just as the name suggests, a myth. A legend, no longer written down anymore and only passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. But their work will continue on as they change the game to have no affiliation with Activision's property. They have not mentioned the new name or theme of their game, but I'm guessing that's because they're still trying to figure it out. Alright, now here's one that has me scratching my head wondering why. Friday the 13th now has a new developer, Black Tower Games. Initially it was IllFonic at the proverbial driving wheel, but publisher Gun Media has determined IllFonic has, quote, completed all contracted work, which is the nice professional way of saying Gun Media has had it with them, and now the contract is up and they're looking for somebody competent. Over the course of Friday the 13th's life, it has not had the best reputation, as the game launched with many game-breaking bugs and only a single map. This is another one of those let's wait and see what happens moments, and Black Tower Games does have a decent reputation at the moment, so it will be interesting to see what they can do with it. If you're still playing Friday the 13th, let me know in the comments. Finally today, we are going to end on a quick one, as a new mythical Pokemon has been announced, and its name is Meltan. Spotted by the internet a few weeks ago, many people weren't sure if they were looking at some type of trophy, or as some had suspected, a Ditto with a lug nut on its head. Because there was no official name, trainers were referring to it as Nutto or Nutboy. But as it turns out, this is indeed a new type of Pokemon, and a steel type at that. Professor Willow in Pokemon Go will be able to tell you more, and if you see one while you're out roaming around, Meltan is not in Pokemon Go yet. This is actually a Ditto that is excited by the new news. Meltan will make its first appearance in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee editions, releasing on November 16th. These are also new. It's time for tomorrow's game releases. For PC, Breakhack, Battle Royale, and The Great Fantasy Struggle. For PlayStation 4, Life is Strange 2, Air Missions Hind, The Crew 2, Gator Rush, and Dark Eclipse. For Xbox One, The Crew 2, Gator Rush, Think of the Children, Pillar, Pizza Titan Ultra, Jack and Jill DX, and Vegas Party. For Nintendo Switch, Snake vs. Snake. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been News Cartridge. I am Dandruff. I will see you tomorrow. And not all math jokes are bad. Just some. I'm divided over how funny that joke was. Click up here to watch today's bonus episode. It's Pokemon Tuesday. Click down here to watch yesterday's episode, which was about Telltale Games shutting down. Both of those links are in the description down below. And click over here to subscribe to my wonderful, wonderful channel. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.